my God, the dead!
Hi there, and welcome back to Foodie Legends, your go-to source for the best foods to eat around the world and their history. In our previous video, we enjoyed discussing the culinary delights of Jeolla province in South Korea. Today, we'll be jumping into a number of bizarre eats that are served as everyday Korean favorites. But before we proceed, don't forget to hit the subscribe and notification bell so you guys can catch up on our latest food journeys. Without further ado, here we go. South Korea has a lot of delicious eats dating back to the ancient dynasties of the past, such as the Goryeo and Joseon royal lines. A lot of Korean recipes can be considered as descendants of culinary practices brought on by Chinese and Japanese culture finding their way to the Korean peninsula. Several key moments in Korean history also contributed to the evolution of its cuisine, such as the invasions of the Mongols, annexation of the Empire of Japan, and 2 world wars, the Korean War, and the integration of Western culture and cuisine in Korea's society. Until today, Korean cuisine, just like the other food cultures in the world, is still evolving. Last time, we showcased South Korea's yummiest food. This time, let's go to the bizarre and challenging. Let's learn more about South Korea's exotic foods that can make you reflect back on the critical life decisions you made back in high school. Coming in at number 1 on our list is a delicacy that is not only bizarre, but also quite funny. Seriously, I'm not laughing. Okay, coming in at number 1 is none other than Gaebul. Known by its scientific name Urchis unicinctus, also known as a marine spoonworm, also known as penis fish. Gaebul is a type of marine spoonworm that can usually be found living in the sand and mud of the sea ground. This type of species is common in Bohai Gulf in China, as well as the coast of Korea and Hokkaido, Japan. Gaebul is considered a cousin of Eurychus caupo, another type of spoonworm commonly found in the coast of North America. Spoiler alert, this breed also looks like the number 1 on our list. Going back to our topic, Gaebul indeed looks like the male genitalia, garnering his name as penis fish.
Because dickus. What is a joke name, sir?
Because of its obvious shape, Gaebul earned a reputation of being an aphrodisiac, enhancing men's performance in, you know what. Catching Gaebul is not an easy task. They are usually found in the shallow parts of the sea, and the success of catching them depends on the tides of the water. It takes a special set of skills and experience to dig these bad boys out of the sand and mud. Once cleaned, Gaebul has a pink to brownish color with a length reaching from 10 to 30 centimeters.
Yeah, boy.
Gaebul squirts a lot of water and mud out of its body to be sure to clean it well before cooking. The main characteristics of Gaebul is in chewy texture. Gaebul's flesh actually has a neutral flavor profile, but veteran Korean eaters claim that its real taste is released while chewing it. It is said that it has a salty and fishy taste, similar to clams with a hint of sweetness. While Chinese restaurants love to stir-fry these ingredients, Koreans prefer to eat Gaebul fresh and still wiggling. Just season it with salt, sesame oil, or maybe a dash of gochujang, a Korean red chili paste. It is also wonderful to put your Gaebul on the grill or on a skewer. Remember, fresh Gaebul is good Gaebul. The bigger and chubbier your Gaebul is, the higher its quality.
That's what she said!
Coming in at number 2 on our list is another delicacy which is actually quite common among Koreans, but something of a weird meal to eat from the perspective of foreigners. This is Beondegi.
Oh my god! Wow!
Beondegi is the pupa of a silkworm, commonly sold as a street food in food stalls around South Korea. The silkworm has a very significant part in world history, particularly throughout Asia. Silkworm is a very economically important insect since it is the source of silk, a highly valued type of textile since ancient times. During the height of the Korean War, food became scarce and meat was hard to acquire. Because of this, Koreans had to look for alternatives where they could find a source of protein. They had an abundant supply in terms of silkworm pupa, so Beondegi became a staple wartime food of the dark period in Korean history. Beondegi became so popular that it actually began to be served in can form, like canned beans.
Wow!
There are various ways in preparing Beondegi. For example, in the Indian region of Assam, silkworm pupa is served with salt or fried with chili peppers. In Japan, it is cooked with soy sauce, sugar, and mirin. Silkworms were also proposed to be utilized as space food for astronauts on long missions because of its nutritional content and portability. But in South Korea, Beondegi is served as a typical street food, steamed or boiled with salt and spices, or candied with sugar. It is given to you in cups as if you were just eating a cup of roasted peanuts. Beondegi has a crispy outer shell and a soft and juicy interior, which is savory and sour. Although it is popular, Beondegi is considered by some to be an acquired taste because of its appearance, and the thought of eating insects is very bizarre. But don't be afraid, foodie, and give this warmy treat a try. Coming in at number 3 on our list is Dakbal, a delicacy that's not only considered as extremely bizarre as the other foods on our list, it's still frowned upon by uninitiated eaters.
We are initiated, aren't we, Bruce?
Dakbal is a chicken feet, a beloved ingredient in various countries in Asia. Filipinos eat chicken feet as a barbecue, drenched in red sauce made with ketchup and vinegar. Mexicans put them in stews and soups. Thai chefs use chicken feet as the main component in their green curry. Chicken feet, however, is rarely used by most cooks because it is no meat, bony, and some people might find it off-putting because, well, it's feet. It is used for walking, and the general notion is that chicken feet is dirty. However, under the expertise of a good butcher and chef, Dakbal is a great dish to munch on while drinking soju with your friends. Dakbal is a great ingredient in making chicken broth, because chicken feet are mostly composed of bones. It provides the soup with a deep chicken taste, and chicken feet is cartilaginous, giving the soup a slightly thick consistency. Dakbal is popularly served in South Korea as a dish to complement the alcoholic drinks. It is a good drinking food because the foodie will munch through and crunch bones of the dakbal. Trying to eat the skin and the cartilage, it is a journey of texture, exploring through the small, crunchy bones and the sticky cartilage. Licking the sweet and spicy glaze, you're likely to end up with a pile of bones on a plate, asking for a second serving. Finger licking good indeed. If you really want to try this dish, you'll have to be careful and follow your chef's instructions. Okay, coming in at number 4 on our list is Sannakji, or live small octopus. Sannakji is a variety of ho, a classification that refers to raw dishes in Korean cuisine. Consumption of live octopus is a very old tradition in the Korean culinary scene, dating back as early as 57 BC, at the time of the Three Kingdoms period. The preparation of eating Sannakji has not changed since it was first eaten in the halls of ancient Korean nobles. Simply, Sannakji is eaten not only raw, but still alive. It takes intensive preparation to make Sannakji edible, requiring the hands of a veteran chef. First, the octopus is squeezed to remove the mucus that can cause its meat to taste bad. Then the head is removed, the legs sliced to bite-sized pieces. The head is then placed with its tentacles on a plate, served with ginger, sesame oil, sesame seeds, and sometimes an assortment of Korean spices. You might be wondering how an octopus can still be alive after all that. Well, an octopus has a very complex nervous system, and only a small portion of their neurons are located on their brains. A significant portion of their neurons can be found in their tentacles. This is the reason why octopus tentacles are still moving even if you chop them up multiple times. For that same reason, great care and caution must be taken while eating live octopus. Remember that the tentacles are still alive, so you must chew it well. Otherwise, the Sannakji's tentacles can suction themselves on the way to your stomach.
What?
It can be fatal, so eat and chew carefully. Coming in at number 5 on our list is a dish that some people may find hard to stomach, but is actually a very delicious delicacy. Our 5th pick is none other than Dakttongjip, also known as chicken gizzards. What is a chicken gizzard? Well, in simpler terms, it is the second stomach of the chicken, a necessary organ for their digestive tract to easily grind the food that they eat, since chickens and other birds don't have teeth. Chicken gizzards have a thick muscular wall, giving it a chewy and bouncy texture with a hint of a little crunch. Organs of animals are considered discards in most cuisines, but genius and creative cooks have found use for these cheap parts and made it a ton more delicious. In South Korea, gizzards are cleaned thoroughly to remove the stones and food remains, then it is stir-fried with various herbs and spices. Because it is inexpensive and very delicious, Dakttongjip became a staple dish for regular employees in South Korea. In 1972, Dakttongjip used to be a giveaway side dish for day laborers visiting Sama Tangdong, a fried chicken restaurant in Pyeonghwa Market in Daegu. The dish became so wildly popular that it became a part of the regular menu. And now, there is a part of Pyeonghwa Market known as Dakttongjip Alley, servicing this delicacy born from humble origins. Coming in at number 6 on our list is Koreans' answer to Britain's blood sausage, Sundae. Sundae is a type of blood sausage that is a popular street food icon in North and South Korea, often grilled and served in skewers or even as soup toppings.
Nice.
The practice of making blood sausage can be traced back to 918, during the era of the Kingdom of Goryeo. It was a time when wild boars still roamed and were a common sight in the Korean peninsula. Records referencing Sundae were found in ancient Korean cookbooks such as the Guhapcheongso and the Seojunso, dating back to the 19th century. Traditional Sundae are usually filled with sonji or blood, mincemeat, rice, and vegetables. However, during the height of the Korean War, the pricey ingredients were replaced by cheaper alternatives such as naengmyeon, also known as glass noodles made with starch and water. Sundae then became popular as an affordable street food snack. Sundae is often steamed and paired with other offal dishes such as gan, liver, or hippo, lung. There are various dips good for sundae depending on the region that it is served, such as salt and black pepper mixture, a combination of vinegar and gochujang, seasoned soybean paste, or simply soy sauce. Some people might find sundae to be repelling because it is made of blood, but it actually has a somewhat neutral flavor with a slightly iron taste that can easily be paired with other dishes on the table. Last on our list is not actually a very gross and uncommon delicacy, but it is intimidating enough that if you get caught carrying this bad boy, you might get blocked at the airport, so consider your decisions carefully.
Damn!
Coming in at number 7 on our list is Myeolchi-Jeot, a Korean condiment made with small anchovies, salted, fermented for several months until it becomes darker in color and gives off a very strong and pungent smell. For some, it is a salivating scent, while others may find the smell quite repelling. Myeolchi-Jeot is a type of jeotgol, which means fermented seafood. The anchovies used for this condiment are usually harvested in the southern coast of the Korean peninsula. Cleaned, fresh anchovies are drained in bamboo baskets, then coated with coarse salt. The salted anchovies are then placed in earthen jars, with the fish and the salt placed in layers. Lastly, the top is covered with a thick layer of salt to prevent the anchovies from being exposed in the air, ruining the entire fermentation process. It takes 6 months to ferment the anchovies, and the liquid extract is used on boiling kimchi, while the rest is actually Myeolchi-Jeot. Myeolchi-Jeot is a very magical condiment. It is salty and has an umami flavor, often used as a dipping sauce for grilled meat, as a side dish, or seasoned with garlic and chili peppers to make it an even better sauce. For those who are not yet used to it, they may find the idea of small fishes fermented for half a year as disturbing. but those who have a curious taste bud, this strange sauce is just for you. Our picks here in today's video can be quite off-putting for some people, and it is a valid feeling. However, it is important to keep an open mind on learning about the cuisines of other countries to understand more about their history. Culture and cuisine are closely intertwined, and South Korea has a long and eventful history. To understand their cuisine means understanding its people. Let it be in the past, present, or in the future. Thanks again for tuning in with us here at Foodie Legends for our latest episode. I hope you enjoyed this video and got a nice taste into the interesting and bizarre foods that South Korea has to offer. Before you go, be sure to like this video and click the subscribe button for more delicious content every week. We'd love to hear your thoughts too, so leave a comment below to let us know what your favorite part of the video was, or if you just want to leave us with a few thoughts. You guys are awesome. Thanks again for watching. See you guys on the next one.